tonight's class. This internal attunement, this practicing awareness, this is yoga. This is the yoga of every day. It's what's been called every minute Zen. And so you just notice that when one thought comes, just like a gust of wind, it blows on by, and then it's gone. Some thoughts might kind of spiral around. You might chase them down all these different roads. And then when you're ready, you can come back to the breath and just let that thought go. So it's a continuous practice, watching our minds, training our minds, and developing that pure awareness. Bring your awareness to the hands, let the palms touch, bring the hands to rest in front of the heart center. Anahata, Sacred Heart Center. Anahata. And as you breathe in, feel the center of your chest lifting and feel a light shining brightly there. And as you exhale, feel the chest, the belly, the torso relax. Feel that light go bright. With every breath in, and every breath out. If the mind wanders, put it to use by counting the breath. Inhaling, breathing in. Exhaling, breathing out. Observe the breath. Observe that position in the center of the chest. Feel it growing lighter and brighter. And then slowly open the hands from fingertips to the base of the wrists. And feel the hands blossoming like a flower. Imagine this great, big, beautiful flower as wide across as your hands. Breathe into that flower, breathing in its vital essence. See if you can detect the sweetness at the tip of your tongue or sweetness in the air. As you breathe in and out. Slowly offer your hands back towards the earth in front of you. I'm going to do a child's pose. If you're sitting cross-legged, you can just reach the hands out to the floor in front of you and slide the hands forward. If you're sitting in hero's pose or on your knees, you can just gently lower the chest straight down, child's pose. Stay here in child's pose. Take a moment to feel that connection between your forehead and the mat, or your hands and the floor. And just feel gravity, the power of the earth drawing you forward. See if you can stay here for 3 more breaths. Your next inhalation, press the floor away. Come back up to a comfortable seated position. We're just going to continue warming up the shoulder complex with some basic movements. We had a request for some hip openers and some more pranayama. So I'll move through a lunge sequence after we finish the warm-ups. For now, return to your comfortable seat, seated in a chair, flat on the floor, or on a bolster or block. Just bring your fingertips up to the tops of the shoulders, right here on the front, fingertips against like the rotator cuff. And then just imagine you're trying to pull the chest apart. Feel that pop and lift through that heart center we just brought our awareness to. So lift the chest, pull the shoulders back and down, and then just begin to drop the elbows down towards the earth. Feel almost like you were carrying a yoke or something here. And just inhale, breathe into this position. Exhale. If you want to, you can surrender the fingertips up, palms open. Inhale, breathe, and now lift the elbows back up, fingers touch. And exhale, elbows pull back and down, broadening through the chest, shoulder blades together. We're going to do this 3 more times. Inhale back up. Exhale back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale, lift those elbows up. And exhale, shoulders roll back and down, elbows close to the side body. Release the hands. Imagine you're holding like serving trays or dinner plates with the hands. And now just begin to reach the hands up and overhead. Big breath in. And exhale. Just let those dinner plates slide on down. From back to the earth. 3 more times. We're going to inhale up, hands press up. Exhale, just offer the fingers forward. And set the hands back down outside. Twice more. Inhale. Still inhaling. Hold the breath in. And exhale. Palms turned up, fingers face forward. Set the hands down. We'll do this once more. Big breath in. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and come onto my hands and knees to prepare for a cat and cow warm-up series. So you can take your time to rearrange yourself here on the mat. All right. So I'm going to make one quick adjustment here. Okay. So we're just going to move through a basic cat and cow warm-up series. I've got my hands stacked right underneath the front of my shoulders, knees under hips. Right now I'm going to just engage my core and start to suck my lower belly up and in and round through the spine into this cat pose. I'm going to inhale, slowly melt the belly down, lifting the chest, lengthening through the crown of the head, tilt the tailbone away. And then exhale, repeat back to the cat. You can kind of make this your own by just rolling out the shoulders, the hips. You can kind of start to get into the hips and lower back by rolling that lower back and sacral spine side to side. So you can discover a sense of freedom through movement, a sense of fluidity through the spine. Just an uninhibited gracefulness and playfulness in your movements. One or two more rounds of that cat-cow movement. We're going to go ahead and take a rest in child's pose. So knees come wide. You can untuck or keep the toes tucked under. Shift the weight back towards the heels. You might even have a blanket or something you can bring underneath of the glutes or underneath of your knees to support the knees as needed. A blanket can be really useful for that. But continue to shift the weight back towards the heels. Lower the chest down. Relax the forehead on the mat. If you have the knees wider apart here in your child's pose, you're going to start working on stretching the inner groin and thigh, kind of bringing a little bit of a hip opening aspect to your child's pose. If that's a little too intense, you can always do this with the knees together instead, the hands further out in front. You can work on more of a puppy pose, if you will, this nice stretch for the lower back. Exhale completely. When you're ready, inhale, come on back up. So we're going to make our way into a plank position. All right. Toes tucked under. All right, core engaged. I'm going to draw that lower belly up and in. All right, trying to create a long straight line down the back of the body. So I'm not sagging the hips down. All right, I don't have the hips up high. We're not in down dog yet. We're just in plank. Okay. You might have the knees down and be in your plank right here. Continue to press the floor away, press down through each fingertip, all fingers, the palms, the wrists, press the floor firmly away and hold here for 3 more breaths. Feel free to take a break in child's pose and rest. If you're ready, bring a bend in the knees, shift the weight up and back towards the glutes, and start to straighten the legs, coming into this upside down letter V shape, downward facing dog. You can continue to pedal out the feet, dropping the heels towards the floor. You can gently shift the hips side to side. And every now and again, just shift forward, back into plank, and then back to your down dog. It'll take about 30 seconds to work through this down dog sequence. Make your way into a split dog by lifting one leg and then the other. Driving the opposite heel down. It's going to really deepen that stretch through the hamstrings there for you. And then when you're ready and you feel like your down dog is warmed up, just go ahead and just lower the knees and walk back up to hero's pose. All right, so we've kind of gotten the physical body a little warmed up here. And now I really want to focus on opening up the vessel to that energetic body. So we had someone ask earlier, what was that one technique that you showed us if we're feeling like we've got really low energy? And doing yoga as a whole, a balanced routine, is going to promote healthy energy levels for you and your body. But sometimes we feel like we kind of really need to just get right to it and just kind of give us that little extra revamp internally, especially if you've been under like a lot of like emotional and mental stress. Then what I'm about to show you is going to feel really awesome. And you have the benefit of being in your own home, so I can't see you do this because it's a little embarrassing. I'm about to practice with you the lion's breath, okay? I'll do it facing you here. So lion's breath is a really energetic breath practice or technique. There are some subtle aspects to it or more advanced aspects that I'm not going to go into tonight. On the superficial level, it might seem kind of goofy or silly, which it is, but it's really a huge stress relief and give you a big energy boost. So without further ado, let me just demonstrate once, and then I'll break it down. We'll do it a couple times together. You can laugh at me, and then we'll move on, okay? So I'm in my hero's pose, here on my knees. I'm gonna exhale completely, and then I'm gonna inhale really deeply. All right, here it goes. Don't be scared, it's just me, not a lion. Ah! Okay, if you're wondering, what did I just see? Oh my goodness. Let me just reassure you. You just saw lion's breath performed by me, your friendly community yoga instructor. 3 parts to lion's breath. The first part is the inhale, exhale to kind of clear the slate. So I'm gonna take that full breath out, exhale out the lungs, and I'm gonna inhale, and I'm in my lion pounce pose, right? So this is the part 1. I'm ready. Part 2, I'm gonna exhale, lunge up and extend the hands. Oh, maybe my face got cut out, which is a real shame if you missed that. So part 2, I'm gonna lunge and exhale, the tongue sticks out. Part 3, and the eyes go up, and you hold here until you've exhaled completely. This is gonna be a really fun one to go back and watch later, okay? So we're gonna do that 3 times altogether, 3 lion's breaths. And seriously, don't be afraid, circumstances permitting, it's your home, to use your outdoor voice inside. It's really exhilarating. And it really doesn't matter that much what your neighbors think, okay? We're gonna exhale completely. Inhale deeply, prepare. Awesome, very good. We're gonna do it 2 more times. Ready? Lion's breath. Exhale completely. Inhale deeply. Okay, 1 more time. I like to imagine there's at least a couple of you that are doing this with me. Okay, here we go. 1 last time. Exhale completely. Inhale. Very good. You're now a certified lion breather. Okay, so let's go ahead and come on back to our down dog. From down dog, we're going to come up to standing, and then we're going to take you through that lunge sequence for some hip openers that I promised. So I'm going to take a moment to adjust the camera here. All right. We're meeting back in downward facing dog. Okay, so when you're ready, give your head and neck a good shake, yes and no. And then go ahead and take a deep bend in both knees. Look up between the hands and slowly walk your feet forward. So we're in that standing forward fold up at the top of the mat. I'm going to inhale up halfway and exhale, release. Inhale all the way back to standing, hands club last. And exhale, hands touch in front of the chest. All right, so we're up here in our lunge sequence. I'm going to come up to the top of my mat with my hands touching in front of the chest. When you're ready, exhale here. Big breath in, hands reach up, hips press forward, heart lifts. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, release. Put the hands down, step your right foot far back, and slowly soften your right knee down. So I'm in here in a low lunge, my right side over here, back, left knee right over top of the ankle. All right, I've got this engagement now in the hips that needs to happen. So I'm just going to gently press my hips forward by engaging through the pelvis and hips, gently pressing forward. You can let your hands rest on that front leg, or you can bring your hands up and overhead. Now, you likely already feel a pretty big stretch coming across that hip flexor, all right? If you want to play with that, you can gently lower the hips down, deepening the bend in that front leg, maybe finding a little back bend here. And then slowly press the floor away, bringing that knee back over the ankle. And so we're just going to play with this right here for our next 3 to 5 breaths. All right, just a minute, we're going to come back to downward facing dog. So when you're ready, let your hands go and come and frame that front foot and step the front foot back. When you're ready, reach the left leg up high behind, coming back to split dog. And then slowly lower that left leg down. Right leg reaches up high behind and split dog. And we're going to step that right foot forward, up between the hands. Slowly lower that left knee down. All right, so we're in that same low lunge on the other side, working on that left hip flexor now. I've got my front knee directly over top of the ankle. All right. Just gently easing the hips forward and back. And there is a degree of engagement here, kind of pressing through the pelvis and glutes, pressing the hips forward, which is going to assist in deepening that stretch. You can have the hands on the hips, on that front leg, or if you'd like, you can bring the hands up and overhead. You're ready, let your hands frame that front foot, step your back foot forward, standing forward fold. Inhale up halfway. And exhale, release. Inhale, come on back to standing. And exhale, hands touch in front of the chest. All right. So before we come into another lunge sequence there, we're just going to come back and we're just going to start to take some high steps, okay? And so we're just going to give those hip flexors that we just stretched a little time to recover and actually be strengthened through this simple movement. You can do one side at a time, or you can continue to march right, left, left, right. All right, one more each side. Good. Hands on hips, feet just outside your mat, and just slowly circle the hips, circling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 more, 3, 2, and 1. All right, reverse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Slow it down. Last time. Your time, bring the hips back to stillness. All right. So I want you to go ahead and just step the heels in, toes turned out slightly. All right. We're going to come down into a goddess pose. We're going to come down into a low squat. All right. We're going to bring our arms out into that field goal post shape. All right. Wrists directly over elbows. Remember, draw that lower belly up and in slightly. And just gently hold here. You can close the eyes if you wish. 4 more breaths here. Exhale, straighten the legs, lower the hands down. Go ahead and shake it out. All right, so we're gonna come back through one more lunge series. I'm gonna give us a couple of different options. All right, so let's go ahead and come back up to the top of our mat. And when you're ready, exhale, let the hands touch in front of the chest. And inhale, stretch the hands up high behind. Big breath in. And exhale, hands sweep down. Hinge forward, forward, forward. Inhale up halfway, big breath in. And exhale, forward, forward. Hands plant. Step your left foot far back this time. And slowly lower that left knee down. Now, if you have yoga blocks at home, it'd be a great time to go ahead and grab those blocks. I'll grab some blocks just real quick. You can stay where you're at. So if you have blocks, I can show you how to follow along. All right. So what we're going to do is come forward into lizard pose. So I'm going to actually bring my hands to the inside edge of this right leg. And I'm just going to step this right leg out to the side. I'm going to readjust my hands using the blocks to be stacked right underneath my shoulders. Okay. So you might already feel a stretch in your inner thigh and groin here. If you want to increase the stretch with or without the blocks, you have your hands on the floor, and you can start to walk this right foot forward. So we're kind of walking that right leg out to like 2 or 3 o'clock. Or just bringing a bend in that knee so that the knee stacks right over top or just behind the ankle. You might like to tuck the back toes under and actually lift that left knee off of the floor here. You might also like a more restorative lizard where you bring your blocks underneath of the forearms. For those of you who feel very comfortable here in lizard pose, and you'd like to continue exploring a deeper stretch without collapsing in the ankle, you can lift the instep of that right foot off the floor. And like you were just gently opening up the cover of a book, you can gently begin to open that right leg to the side. Now, that's all the further I'm going to go for right now. With that, you're welcome to explore that element of a twist, opening, and twisting. Just be mindful of your body, what feels good for you. Here for 3 more breaths. When you're ready, slowly start to walk that right foot back in between the hands. You can move your blocks out to the side. You don't need them for a minute. Go ahead and frame that front foot with your hands and step the front foot back to your downward facing dog. Feel free to rest in child's pose here. You want to take a round of vinyasa by coming forward into plank and then up for up dog or cobra. Feel free. You want to rest in child's pose, always feel comfortable to do so. If you want to work a hip opener, and you could also come into that 3-legged dog, that split dog, and then open the knee out to the side, opening the hip. And when you're ready, come back up through your lunge and bring that left foot forward. Take your time, meeting back in our low lunge, left foot forward. So we're going to move into that lizard pose on this side, walking that left foot out to the side. With the help of your blocks, you could have hands on blocks or hands on the floor. If you had a chair in front of you, you could keep your hands on the chair as well. Okay, each side might be a little bit different, so just kind of mentally just take note, become aware of if one side of your body is a little out of balance or just tighter or more flexible. Just be aware of those things and modify it. So right now I've got my knee right over top of the ankle. All right, I'm very comfortable here, so I'm going to stay here. But remember, if you'd like to, you can always lift or lower the hands with blocks or come down to forearms. If you have that degree of opening, twisting on the other side, and if it feels appropriate on this side, then continue to lift that instep of the foot without collapsing in the ankle or that knee off to the side. Might even press the hand on the front.
Bryan, can you adjust your sound? It just went out a little bit. Thank you.
Let's see. Okay, testing the sound. Testing.
Not back yet. I mean, I hear you, but it sounds tinny or like you're far away.
Okay.
There, you're back.
Okay.
That's it. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sorry about that. If you couldn't hear me, we're just walking through the stages of lizard pose on this side. Just remember each side might be a little different and take the appropriate steps to modify as needed. I'll just be in this lizard pose for about 3 more breaths. When you're ready, take the time to slowly walk that left foot back in between the hands. Go ahead and move your blocks or props to the side. Step your back foot forward, standing forward fold. Inhale up halfway, reset. And exhale, release. All right. So I'm going to bring us back down onto our mat. We're going to come on back down. Okay. We're going to get ready for a little more hip opening, love, and an inversion. Just keep in mind, at some point towards the end of our class, I'm going to offer up the opportunity for you to do a legs up the wall pose. If you've never tried legs up the wall, it's a really wonderful restorative option, especially if you're feeling a little fatigued or if your lower back has been bothering you or whatever. It's really as easy as it sounds. It sounds pretty easy, right? So legs up the wall. You can just scooch on over to a wall space that's open and let your legs go up the wall. Now I want to try and get my bottom as close to the wall as I can. So there might be like a little bit of kind of wiggling you have to do to get there. Now we're not coming here quite yet. This is just so that when I instruct this later, we can just go right there without a lot of instruction. So I'm gonna come back over to my mat here. Ugh. All right. So I'm just gonna take some time to kind of windshield wiper the knees side to side. Just adjust to lying down here. And I want to hug both knees in towards the chest. Give my knees a great big hug towards the chest. Just gently rock side to side. Turn to that pure breath awareness. Right, then go ahead and just release and extend your left leg long, but keep hugging that right knee in towards the chest. Slowly start to circle that right leg in a nice clockwise circle. Use your breath to guide the movement. Use with the help of the hands. You can rest the hands by the side and explore your hip opening there. And when you're ready, reverse the direction. All right. We're going to move into this version of pigeon pose. And you're welcome to come into a figure four stretch like we did last week. You're welcome to try this one as well. So it's going to start by just hugging this right knee in towards the chest. With my left hand, I'm going to grab a hold of the outside edge of the foot. And it's important to keep your foot flexed, which means these toes, right toes, are pulling back towards the knee. I'm going to grab a hold of the outside edge of the right foot, and I'm just going to gently begin to bring that right foot across the body towards left shoulder. And you should feel a big stretch through some of these muscles that tie in around the hip complex. It might be a little bit intense to keep the left leg straight. If so, you could bring that left foot back to the floor. And that's where you'll discover that this is really very similar to that figure four stretch. So we're hugging the right knee in and we're drawing this right foot down. So if you think about it, this is very similar to our pigeon pose, except that instead of being face down, we're lying on our backs instead. You can gently kind of rock the baby side to side, your right leg being that baby there. Give it a gentle rock. You might even want to play with transitioning into a half happy baby pose by just bringing that right hand back to where the left hand was and coming into your half happy baby, which is a lot like lizard pose. And transition back and forth between those two as we complete this cycle. Stay with your breath. 3 more breaths. Ready, slowly, gently release that right foot back to the floor or mat. Then go ahead and just extend that right leg long. And we'll go ahead and we'll switch to the other side. We'll go ahead and hug the left knee in towards the chest. And just slowly start to circle out that left leg, warming up the hip complex. If you haven't already, just go ahead and reverse the direction of those hip circles. When you're ready, go ahead and hug that left knee back in towards the chest. Left knee is going to stay over by this left shoulder over here. My right hand's going to go ahead and grab a hold of the outside edge of left foot. I'm going to keep the foot flexed. I'm just going to very slowly begin to guide this left foot down across the body until I feel that stretch. It's too intense to have that right leg extended long. You can always bring the right foot to the floor, or you can come back to your figure 4 stretch. Of course, when you're ready and you want to explore a little variation, you can just bring that left hand across, take the foot, and open out to your half happy baby pose. You can do this with a bent leg or straight leg. Access a different stretch. Last few rounds of breath from this sequence. When you're ready, you gently release the left foot. Slowly bring that left foot back to the floor. Step right foot next to left and windshield wiper the knees side to side. When you're ready, take a nice full body stretch. Stretch the legs, stretch the arms, stretch the whole body long. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, give everything a great big hug. All right. So we're going to transition next to our inversion. So if that legs up the wall pose works for you, you're welcome to move right into legs up the wall. If you want to practice shoulder stand, I'll show you a restorative shoulder stand, which you can use your block for. If you want to practice Sarvangasana, the shoulder stand, I'll demonstrate that in a moment as well. Okay, so first I'm going to go ahead and grab this block and bring it right underneath of the sacral spine. And you might even like your inversion just to be this restorative bridge pose. If you want to, you can simply straighten the legs, pressing the heels up towards the ceiling for a restorative shoulder stand. If you've recently had like any kind of like major surgery in your head or neck or shoulders, you're obviously not going to want to practice this right now. Instead, you can just try and find a comfortable position in a seat or on your back like we were before. If you're ready for that full shoulder stand, I'm going to bring my hands to the glutes or lower back. I'm just going to assist in straightening the legs up. I'm going to keep the chin tilted away from the chest. And there's very little to no pressure on the head or neck here. You're ready to come out of your shoulder stand. Bring the hands down first. Practice breaks. And just gently bend the knees, hugging the knees in towards the chest until your lower back lands on that block or returns to the floor. Feet lower down, legs. You're still in that restorative bridge shape, or if you used a block, just scooch that block out to the side. So you're back down. If you're in that legs up the wall pose, feel free to stay there a few moments longer. And just gently turn the head and neck side to side. And your choice, if you want to continue to focus on that hip opening aspect of class, you could bring the soles of the feet together with the knees open out to the side. Again, having some blankets or cushions or something to support underneath the legs is going to facilitate a better release in the inner thigh and groin. If you want to instead rest in constructive rest, which is deeply restorative for the lower back, you can step the feet about as wide as your mat and let the knees stack in together. As we rest and cool down, keep your awareness centered on the breath. Allow the muscles in the face and jaw to relax. Clench. Resting lightly with the mat. The breath going in and out. A gentle swallow in the throat, the neck and throat relax. Continue to let this wave of deep relaxation move through the body, clearing the shoulder, flowing down the arm, softening the joints, the muscles. Bringing your awareness back to the center of the chest, back to that point of light at the Anahata chakra, the heart center. Feel that warmth and that light radiating down to the torso, down to the belly. The legs growing heavy and relaxed. Feel the warmth, the weightlessness. As long as you need to. Continue to observe your breath. Consciously rest. Become aware of this connection between mind and breath and body. The effect of one. And steady the mind, the breath. Serve our bodies with our mind. Bodies become these beautiful vessels which we experience the world. Awareness back to that space in the center of the chest, that energetic heart center. Feel with every breath in that light growing bright and warm. Feel with every exhalation this beautiful cleansing effect, clearing away any energetic debris, any decisiveness, kind of stress or tension, pressure. Just feel the power of this pure radiant light clearing away any obstacles to the light. Deepen your in breath, lengthen the out breath. Feel your physical body, your breath body, your thinking body working together to reawaken, to reboot the nervous system, guided by this relaxation. Just gently come back to the room, to your body. Allow your awareness to course through this humanness, staying centered, staying self-aware. Slowly return to your comfortable seat, grounded your awareness, held by the space of relaxation. We'll close our practice, the sound of Om. We'll chant it 3 times together, and then we'll close. Welcome to join and chant with me, or you can just simply listen and enjoy the vibration. Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, and go with peace. We'll close our practice with Namaste, Namaste, Namaste.